Welcome to Tirumal Classes, and we will discuss polity and governance in this lecture. I'll begin with Indian polity. Generally, what do you mean by Indian polity, where it comes in your journey of UPSC? Already we have discussed about syllabus and all in your PPT program. That is a pre-preparation. If anybody have any doubts, you can go through those videos by getting access from the management. They'll give you access. Okay, now fine. So let us see the Indian polity basically, where it comes. First, we will discuss about Indian polity and then for governance. Governance is nothing but administration part. What is that? Administration. There we will discuss many of the bodies. For example, we talk about PMO, Prime Ministerial Office. We will talk about the role of district collector. We'll talk about citizen charter, and there were many more statutory bodies, regulatory bodies, unconstitutional bodies and constitutional bodies. All of them combinedly comes under the governance. We also talk about recent initiatives called e-governance. What is that? E-governance and applications of governance. But in governance, the concept is very wide. But we can write an exam very short by citing many examples. We will discuss basically, look, Indian polity comes under, it is there in your both prelims examination and your mains examination. Especially mains, it comes under GS2. Polity, Indian polity and governance comes under prelims and as well as mains. GS2, General Studies Paper 2. In General Studies Paper 2, there we will discuss about Indian polity and governance, and followed by international relations and some social related issues. Some social or societal related issues. We will talk about that. But the major concept in GS2 is like Indian polity and governance and followed by international relations. So, in this particular point of view, we need to understand polity as a part 1, governance as a part 2. But what is the fundamental difference between the polity and governance? See, if both are same, why they are giving UPSC syllabus differently? What is Indian polity and what is the governance? Generally in your syllabus it is clearly mentioned that polity, constitution and governance. Polity, constitution and governance. Whenever I say constitution is always having a predefined set of rules and regulations. Is nothing but our constitution. We'll begin with what is a constitution, don't worry. Okay, now, then what is the Indian polity? We'll talk about Indian constitution. Polity includes constitution plus other rules and regulations which are made by executive, legislature, some part of judiciary. The meaning, when I'm dealing with Indian polity, it covers Indian constitution. Plus other rules and regulations. Then what is the governance? Look, in India, we need to have a proper administrative setup. Why administration is required? Administration is nothing but what? Taking after the state or looking after the state is called administration. We call it as paripalana. But when you wanted to administer the state, we need something called central government, state government, followed by local governments. To administer the India, we have central government, state government and local bodies. And it says central government, where we will talk about the president, vice president, prime minister, central council of ministers, and we'll talk about many more there. Same thing with state government, we'll talk governor, chief minister, followed by state council of ministers and many more. That is why I would say the central and state government both are parallel with each other. The central and state government both are what? Parallel with each other. What do you mean by parallel with each other? Parallel means both are looks like same, both resembles the same. What do you mean by both are resembling the same? For example, union government at one hand or union government at the top, which is having president and vice president, prime minister and council of ministers. Parallel to that state government, we have governor. There is no deputy governor. There is no deputy governor. I can show you like this. Look, in the central government, we have like president, prime minister, and the central council of ministers. Each one is a separate topic. I'll discuss in very detailed manner. Don't worry. So when it's a state government, in case of president, we have what? Governor. But there is no vice governor at the state or deputy governor at the state. But followed by central prime minister, state we have chief minister, here central council of minister, here we have state. Like here we have parliament, here we have state legislature, like that. Like that we have parallelism. What is that? Parallelism. If we understand central government structure, the structure of state government become easy and replica. Easy and replica. Here something like 1+1 offer. If you understand central government in detail, state government will become your bonus. Will become your bonus. Another thing in the polity is like, polity is always repetitive in nature. If I discuss president, that will repeatedly come in every chapter. Every chapter. So that is where it is easy to understand to gain the maximum marks in prelims. But when it comes to the mains, polity is not that much easy. If you know the pulse, how to write, you will understand mains, you can write easily. But people will focus more on preliminary areas rather than mains. But if you want to declare examination, it is both prelims and mains. Together is important. Okay, now I'll tell you how we are going to deal with this particular subject. So I told this now, in India we have central, state and local bodies. Central and state are what? Parallel governments. So what is the role of central, state and local governments? Anything, the role is simple. It is what? Providing administration to establish. Providing administration to establish welfare state. To establish welfare state. And to promote economic growth. To promote what? Growth. And upliftment of poor and vulnerable sections. Upliftment of the poor and what? Vulnerable sections. Poor means everybody, any human being is a poor. Yes. But vulnerable sections means women, SC, ST, children's, BC, physically challenged. We all call them as vulnerable sections. Vulnerable sections. Upliftment of these vulnerable sections. Economic growth of the country followed by what? Welfare state. Welfare means taking care of the people. What is that? Taking care of the people. Praja Sankshamam Prabhutvam Yokka Mukhya Badhyata. And చాలా మంది politicians gave the statement. Do you remember this? మా పార్టీ ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం ప్రజా సంక్షేమం. What do you mean by ప్రజా సంక్షేమం? It is nothing but what? Welfare of the state is nothing but welfare of the people. Welfare of the state is nothing but welfare of the people. Are you understanding, right? Yes. So this is a major objective why we need to administer a country. I'll tell you economic growth. Don't worry, I'm going little deeper. It is not concept not started at. Once it is started, I'll go very slowly and very detailed manner. But when I say the economic growth, see, first one welfare state and government is launching many schemes. Do you understand many schemes? For your understanding, midday meal scheme, Digital India, Startup Program, Stand Up India, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Best example, you know, midday meal scheme, PDS, Public Distribution System, like your ration shops, Do you remember all this? What are all this? These are the welfare programs. Welfare programs for the welfare of the state, which is nothing but welfare of people who are living in the state. Clear, everyone? Yes. But see the economic growth. I tell you, right now, based on 2023 and 24 economic survey, 2023 and 24 economic survey, you people don't know what is economic survey. Don't worry. I'm just introducing the concepts to you. Are you getting it right? Yes. So when I say economic growth, according to 2023 and 24 economic survey, our GDP is around 3.7 trillions. 3.7 trillions is our GDP. But Indian government targeted by 2030 and 31, we need to reach it by 7 trillion. What is that? 7 trillion economy. How come it's possible? 3.7 trillion economy nundi 7 trillion economy kellali ante government should make some laws. Government should attract the investments from other countries, and government should introduce more programs that will generate the revenue for the country, and the government should encourage the people to start more business. Yes or no? Bringing more people under tax slabs and digital economy. What is that? Digital economy. This is one of the most digitalizing Indian economy is one of the key factors for boosting economic growth. Who will take all these decisions? Government. What is that? Government. At center, at state. Both are parallel. Okay now? Yes. When it comes to the local governments, look at this. Local government, they are different. They are not parallel to center. They are not parallel to central state. When you say the local governments, here we have two things. One is like Panchayati Raj institution and next one municipalities. Remember, the local governments includes Panchayati Raj and municipalities. One is look for the development of rural areas. What is that? Rural areas. Municipality is meant for the development and administration of urban areas. What is that? Urban areas. That is how in India we follow decentralized development system or decentralized administrative system. There are two words you should understand. What do you mean by centralization and decentralization? In earlier times, at the time of medieval India, at the time of ruling India by kings or kingdom rules, they used to follow centralization. Centralization is nothing but keeping all the powers in the hands of few or one. Keeping all the powers in the hands of few or one is called as centralization. But what do you mean by decentralization? Like distributing powers at respective levels, Right now in India following centralization or decentralization? Yes, right now we are following decentralized system. What do you mean by decentralized? Very simple. We have like central government which is having some powers and duties, and a state government having certain powers and duties. Local bodies have certain powers and duties. Am I right or not? Which means we have divided powers between center, state and local bodies. Hence, they can perform better at their respective levels. They can perform better at their respective levels. Hence, what is good for us? Decentralization is good for us. So where centralization is good and where decentralization is good? I'll take an example. India is what system? Decentralized administrative system. But I'll take some of the countries like European countries. For example, when you go to European countries like Belgium, what is that? Belgium, one of the European countries. The maximum European countries are very small nations, very small nations. Each state around our Telangana state, maybe some of the countries in Europe are less than Telangana state. See, whenever the European countries are very small in their geography, they follow what system? Centralized. Centralized. And whenever you wanted to administer a small area, centralization is the best method. Whenever you wanted to administer large territory, decentralization is the best method. What is that? Decentralization is the best method. Look at India. India is very large country. Geographically it is very large. Geographically it is very large. Am I right? India geographically very large country. Look at cultural wise, we have different cultures in India, different religions, different regions. For example, North India, Central India, Western part of India, Northeastern part of India, Deccan part of India. Every part of India is geographically unique or not? Geographically unique. So we need to administer part differently, having different religions, different castes, and different regional differences. Hence, what system is better for India's administration? Decentralization. What is that? Decentralization. Hence, in our constitution also, we have mentioned decentralized administrative system. That is why the constitution of India has divided powers between center and state. Center and state. So what method? What administrative method that we are following in India? Decentralized administrative system. What is that? Decentralized administrative system. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. That is where I would say India, we have decentralized administrative system under three levels: central level, state level, local level. This local level is also called as grass root level. Another word, just like the local level is also known as grass root level. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. So this is how our Indian polity is having set of rules and regulations. Based on these rules and regulations, we carry administration. Carrying administration based on the rules and regulations is technically known as governance. Write down. Carrying administration based on rules and regulation is simply called governance. When I start governance, I'll give you various definitions that are given by different scholars. But for a layman understanding, it is being a fresher to UPSC, we will understand like this. Okay? Yes? Look at this. So, governance is nothing but based on the rules and regulations, we carry administration in a country. That administration is technically called governance. That administration includes programs, policies, laws, and many more. Executive orders and many more. Are you getting it right? Yes. But when I say rules and regulations, these rules and regulations were mentioned in a legal document. The rules and regulations were mentioned in legal document, which is technically called this Indian Constitution. The rules and regulations that are mentioned in an Indian document, a legal document, that legal document is called Indian Constitution. So when you say the Indian Constitution, we talks about rules and regulations that are mentioned in the Constitution. Okay? Okay? By using these rules and regulations, how we will carry forward the administration of India with the various bodies help, we call it as governance. Is that clear, right? First you understand Indian polity, then you will understand what? Governance in more easiest way. Okay, this is more fact based, this is more application based. What is that? Application based. In day to day we are applying it. Okay, now, so we'll talk about Indian Constitution where set of rules and regulations we'll talk. Then we'll go for governance, which is an application part. See, Indian Constitution is a what document? Legal document. It is a legal document. అంటే కొన్నిసార్లు క్వశ్చన్స్ లో లీగల్ డాక్యుమెంట్ అని అడుగుతాడు, which means Indian Constitution, which means Indian Constitution. Is it clear, everyone? Yes. But in this lectures, what we are going to do for next 45 or 50 days, I'll take daily 2 to 2.5 hours of Indian polity lecture. It takes around 40 to 45 days. మీరు కోఆపరేట్ చేస్తే, అంటే మీరు ప్రాపర్గా క్లాసెస్ విని జాగ్రత్తగా ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్లు పెడితే I can finish it off. When you are slowly understanding, and teach slowly, it takes more time. It's depending upon your speed. Okay now? Yes. Now listen, but end of the day, I will teach in a way that everybody should clear with Indian polity concepts. Because if it is not clear, you cannot clear elsewhere. You cannot clear anywhere. So while dealing in the class, you try to understand. After going back home, I'll tell you what to do. Just do that. Come back to the class. I'll finish in 40 days. You also should done with the subject in the 40 days itself. Then we can move on to other subjects. Initially, we'll teach one subject. After 20 or 25 days, I'll launch another subject as well. As we're going into, the more subjects will increase. So when you thorough with the previous subjects, we can go into other subjects easily. Otherwise, you are overly burdened and you lose interest, suffocated, you'll run out of UPSC, though it is the easiest explanation. I mean to say tough, but when you understand the pulse of examiner, it is not as you think more difficult, ever difficult in the world. No, not such kind. We can easily do it with a proper set of principles. But what is our agenda in these classes? The agenda is very simple, boys. The agenda is very simple. I have to give you first of all conceptual clarity. Remember, it is not even engineering exams. Without conceptual clarity, neither prelims nor mains you can't touch. So first and fundamental thing is, you should maintain conceptual clarity for every topic. That is one important. After doing conceptual clarity, I should try to create internal connections. What is that? Internal connection. I can call it as internal connectivity. What do you mean by internal connectivity? I'll tell you this. Today in UPSC, they're not asking question from one chapter. For example, listen carefully. Choose the correct statement is the question. Option 1, 2, 3, 4. And then choose the correct option A, B, C, D. That's how the question is framed. But option 1 is from one chapter, 2 is from another chapter, 3 and 4 is from another chapter. And the meaning, they're not asking a question from one chapter, they're taking 3 or more chapter points and framing into one question. Which means you should have what? Internal connectivity between the topics and between the subjects. For example, how President and Parliament both are internally connected. How the President and the Council of Ministers internally connected. How the preamble and the Union and its territory chapter internally connected. Likewise, every chapter internally connected to other chapters, we should find the connectivity. Then only you can write prelims and mains, otherwise you will definitely struck in prelims and mains. So first thing is like, you should maintain conceptual clarity. Second thing, I should establish what? Internal connectivity. What is the connection between polity to other subject? Okay, na? Polity to other subjects. And within polity, one topic to another topic, we should know what is the internal connectivity. Otherwise, you will struck again in the prelims. That is one thing. The next thing, we will go for short note if required. If required. There are some chapters. Definitely the short notes is important. We will dictate the short notes over there. And I will tell you how to do short notes. How to do short notes. And I will give you some of the examples. You have to do that by your own later. And then followed by the prelims test. I'll conduct the prelims test. Before doing the test, you should read the standard book. When you understand the class properly, standard book is nothing for you. You will understand just like that. It's my promise on that. Okay, now standard book, because here we will learn vocabulary. We learn polity vocabulary. Though you are from Telugu medium, not a big deal. No need general English. Learn the concepts like polity vocabulary. Then you can easily write your mains answer writing. Okay, now you have to read at least one standard book. That I will tell you. After this, we will go for PYQ prelims. Previous year prelims questions, I will finish. Maybe I will finish or I will call somebody else to do it. So that you will enjoy the two different faculty experiences. And then followed by mains. What is that? Mains. But what people will do, when it's a prelims previous year questions or test, they'll just randomly and they'll throw paper on the management face. But if you do that, you are not throwing the paper, you are throwing your career away. You are throwing career away. Writing the test followed by explanation, and then you need to go for detailed scrutiny. What do you mean by the detailed scrutiny, sir? Sir, how many questions I got correct? Why I have chosen wrong options? Why I got negative marks? Which concepts I'm lacking in? What are the mistakes I did while writing exam? This is what called detailed scrutiny. Idi cheyakunda overconfidence heroic activities chesaru ante later people will laugh at you. Later people will laugh at you. Just remember that word. Don't be hero in the class. You should be hero in the exam after cracking it. That is my wish. You have to do all this. And then followed by, you should go for test by test. You will improve your marks. Test by test, you should improve your marks by going for detailed scrutiny and getting more conceptual clarity. And mains, which is very, very challenging here, boys. I want to clear that. This is not our engineering examination, first of all. This is not our engineering examinations. Like one day before I'll read and I'll crack 90 or 80% of the marks. Definitely not. Let me make it more clear. There are IITians who are unable to clear the UPSC. There are Telugu medium students, JPH high school students who clear UPSC. Who cleared UPSC. So where is the difference? Some of the IITians, NITians but failed to clear it, even prelims some of the times. Some of the normal students who came from Telugu medium, rural background, and who are from JPH high school, they cleared this exam, they were in the service today. So, people says that UPSC is meant for only some of the intellectuals. This is not true. UPSC is meant for an average student, though applying brain and applications is important here. Okay now? So you have to practice many more, especially mains 5 because మీరందరూ డిగ్రీలో ఇంజనీరింగ్లో రాసినట్టు ఇక్కడ రాస్తే మార్కులు పడవండి. దట్ ఈస్ ఫర్ డామ్ షూర్. యూపీఎస్సీ సో సెన్సిటివ్, సో స్పెసిఫిక్. అతను ఏం అడిగాడు దానికి మాత్రమే మీరు ఆన్సర్ రాసి రావాలి. తిన్నారా? ఎస్ సార్. కానీ చాలా తిన్నారంటే లేదు సార్ తిందాం అనుకున్నాను కాకపోతే అని చెప్పి స్టోరీ అంతా చెప్తుంటాం. అంత స్టోరీ చెప్పడానికి యూపీఎస్సీలో టైం ఉండదు. అతను దాన్ని ఎంకరేజ్ చేయాలి. వాట్ ఈస్ ద క్వశ్చన్? రీడ్ ఇట్, అండర్స్టాండ్ ద డిమాండ్ ఆఫ్ ద క్వశ్చన్, write down the points, leave it and go for the next question. Then you can cover all the questions within given time. You can secure maximum marks. Otherwise, it will take decade 3 or 4 or 5 or it goes on. So mains is very challenging, especially for you boys. From the day one at my overaction, we'll go 1 or 2 days later, we'll start the mains examination also. Like how to practice the mains. I have to restructure your answer right, which is there in your engineering. It is a quite opposite. For that, what we'll do, we'll make you write some of the short answers, then direct answers, then some of the indirect questions, and then BYQs I'll discuss in the class. Then we go for some model question and answers. We have to revise the topper answer sheets. I'll display topper answer sheets, don't worry. Meer chadivite emi ardham kaadu. I'll display. I'll tell you what are the logics they have followed and how to write intro, body, conclusion, how to write examples, what type of examples, how to write a short answers within given time. I'll show proper answer sheets. Okay. Then I'll make you understand so that you will create a frame in your brain. You will write a better answers in the first itself. Without getting the framework, if I go, you will write whatever you feel to write. Then it is headache to me to correct. దానికంటే కొన్ని ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ చూపించి కొన్ని మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసి దెన్ ఇఫ్ ఐ కండక్ట్ టెస్ట్ ఫర్ మెయిన్స్ యూ విల్ బీ ఇన్ ఎ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ సో దట్ యూ విల్ థింక్ అండ్ రైట్ అట్లీస్ట్ రీజనబుల్లీ గుడ్ ఆన్సర్స్ అట్ ఎవర్ ఫస్ట్ గో. Clear everyone? So these and all need to be done for one subject. Then only subject is completed. Otherwise, lecture is done but not completion of the subject. Okay? Yes, everyone? Yes. అంత నీరసం ఉండకంటారు. అసలు ఈ మధ్యాహ్నం గట్టికి తినొచ్చి ఉంటారు. క్లాస్ రూమ్ జరేసి చల్లగా ఉంటుంది. అండ్ విల్ సింప్లీ దీస్ మెనీ డేస్ రావట్లేదా ఏసీ? వస్తుంది. 3 years ఈ రూమ్ చాలా ఎక్కువ మెస్టర్ వస్తాయి. సో కొంచెం ఇన్ని రోజులు చాలా మంది నిద్రపోయి వచ్చి ఉంటారు మధ్యాహ్నం ఫ్రెష్గా తినేసి యూపీఎస్సీకి వెళ్ళి చదువుకుందామని. సో అలాంటిదేం తీసేయండి. ఇంకా ద టైమ్ హ్యాస్ కమ్. అర్థమైందా? So these are what you have to do for our Indian polity subjects. Clear, right? Yes. After this, I need some more things to discuss with you now. Then I go for the subject. Okay now? Yes. Listen, boys. We have chosen very big. It is a very big game. UPSC is a very big game. It is like there is a Chinese web series called Squad Game. Squid Game. I'm not sure about this. Fine. Squid Game. This is something like that. You have to follow the rules very strictly. You have to follow rules very strictly. Otherwise, you will be eliminated. What is that? Eliminated. It's very important. It's a big game. In this big game, I'll tell you few more things that you have to follow so that you will be confident in your series. The first one is like ready to face criticism. The day when you say I'm going for UPSC, people started throwing stones on you that UPSC avutunda mana valla. Ready to face the criticism. You should be open to face criticism. Sir, I'm sensitive. I wanted a little relax from this criticism. First thing, you should maintain secrecy. Don't tell to anybody. Don't tell to anybody that you are going for civil services. Tell to your one or two or friend, in fact not needed. Tell to your family and your teacher is more than enough. Then the criticism is a little lesser. Okay na? Or else there is another way to control your criticism is like you should be mentally strong. You should be mentally strong. If you are good at these two, you can minimize the criticism so that you can do well in this preparation. You should ready to face criticism. ఒక మంచి పని అనుకోగానే ఫస్ట్ ఏమొస్తుంది criticism. People will always there to criticize you. But remember, the criticism is given by some of the well-known people is good. We call it as constructive criticism. He'll tell you what is your strength and weakness, what is a UPSC strength and weakness, and how to handle it. That type of constructive criticism is good. But some people who don't know UPSC spelling, they'll start criticizing you. They are like, just chhod do. Listen and leave them. Listen and leave them. Clear everyone? Yes. The second thing is the most importantly, you should have a patience. UPSC requires a lot of patience. To handle the criticism, what is required? Patience. Generally, you can't sit for an hour. But for UPSC, you have to sit minimum 10 hours, 11 hours, based on your productivity. But genuinely, if you are beginners, 10 to 12 hours కూర్చోవడం మంచిది ప్రొడక్టివ్గా. But it is not possible from the day one. You should increase slowly. First 2 hours, then 3, 4. Within 2 to 3 months, you should increase your abilities to sit for 10 to 12 hours effectively. That give you good marks. The patience is very, very important because to sit and read, it requires patience. To write mains, patience. To write prelims and analyzing the prelims, patience. So, and browsing internet, doing assignments, okay na? Reading multiple times the same subject, everything is required what? Patience. That is most important. The next one, we have to go for a proper strategy. A proper strategy. Strategy is not same for everybody. The strategy is different from student to student. Proper strategy. Sir, in this strategy, we always maintain dynamic strategies. What is that? Dynamic strategies. For example, when I say dynamic, there's a two types of strategies. One is a static strategy, next one, dynamic. The static is, let us say, this is the static, outward version. The dynamic means internal. We should always go for changes. I wrote a test. I wrote this subject. I'm not clear with this strategy. How should I change it? What strategy need to be implemented for this? Like that, always you should go for brainstorming and doing a little changes in your strategy definitely fetches you very good marks. A proper strategy is always important because you're not going for clerical job, you're going for district collector job. Obviously, strategy matters a lot. Clear? Yes, right? Yes. And always you should ready to go for sacrifice. What is that? Sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice some of your personal time with your family. Sacrifice time for movies. Not watching 10 movies, watching one is good. You are sacrificing 9 movies. Are you getting it right? sacrifice is important, and last for the least, it is like consistent hard work is important. Consistent hard work is important. Consistent. What do you mean by consistent? Today 5 hours. Next day also what? 5 hours. That should go consistently. Okay. Then within 1 year, you will get a complete picture about UPSC and its syllabus and conceptual clarity. Then you can write any exam, you can easily crack it. But 1 year, the people who do this work, they'll become a rishi, definitely. Their personality change 200%. They're not the ordinary persons, just like earlier one. They're definitely different from others. But those who wanted these services, these are the prerequisites one has to follow. Is it clear? I said consistent hard work. My friend is going to movie. I have to control myself. My friend is going for coffee. He'll definitely call me, Mama, come, let's have a coffee. Don't go, this is not your time. This is not your time. అతని టైం అతను పోతున్నాడు, మీ టైం ఇంకా కాలేదు. You should sit and study. Tell to them, I'll come later. He'll understand, otherwise he'll go off. Because you're not friends earlier, and don't be friends in the institute. Just be a known person or be a co-aspirant and share the knowledge if it is possible and work by yourself. End of the day, you have to work by yourself. That is most important. Ardhamainda. So consistent hard work, no more emotions, boys. You're calling for a movie. If you wish to go, there is a time, you can go. If there is no time in your schedule, just finish your schedule first. Then you do anything whatever you wanted. First you have to finish the schedule. So follow these prerequisites to handle this big game. That is the most important one here. Clear everyone? Yes?
Yes.
So if you are able to do that, then fine, it is good. Otherwise, you will suffer a little more. Okay, now? So first year is very, very crucial here. So these are the prerequisites and our agendas of Indian polity and many more subjects. Let us talk about now Indian polity. What is that? Indian polity. In the Indian polity, first I'll be talking about evaluation of Indian Constitution. Keep the heading. Evaluation of Indian Constitution. We'll cover everything and what is required for examination. After class ఏం చేయాలో నేను చెప్తాను. అది చేసుకొని వస్తే రియల్లీ అమేజింగ్, చాలా బాగుంటుంది. చేయలేదంటే మాత్రం మీరే సఫర్ అవుతారు తర్వాత. కీప్ దట్ ఇన్ మైండ్ ఆల్వేస్. డోంట్ డౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. అండర్ ఎస్టిమేట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. మేబీ టుడే యు ఆర్ వీక్, బట్ నాట్ టుమారో, బట్ నాట్ డే ఆఫ్టర్ టుమారో. Don't judge yourself by looking at today's standards. Try to rise your standards day by day. Don't judge yourself. Are you getting it right? Yes. So when it's the evaluation of Indian Constitution, look at this now. First of all, remember, there were many countries in the world. There were many countries in the world, right? Yes. When I say many countries in the world, almost all the countries are having constitution. Many countries in the world all the countries are having constitutions. I told already what do you mean by constitution, which is having a set of rules and regulations. The set of rules and regulations for better administration of a country. For better administration of a country. For better administration of a country. But remember, boys, many countries having the constitution. Why do they have the constitution? If there is no constitution, we can't go for equal development of the nation. What is that? Equal development. Remember, this is one nation. If we have a constitution which talks about every section of individuals, hence we can go for equal development. What is that? Equal development of all the section. And there is a regulating behavior or controlled behavior. What is that? Controlled behavior. If there is no rules and regulations for our institute, your behavior is not controlled. You will come whenever you wanted, you leave whenever you wanted, you do whatever you wanted in the class. Am I right? So always, when there is a group of people living in a nation, that behavior should be controlled. What is that? Controlled. And there should be equal development. There should be economic development, political growth, and what? Social development, and many more. If you wanted to achieve an all-round development of a country, we need a set of rules and regulations. Hence, every country has their own constitution, so that everybody should abide by their constitution. Everybody should abide by their constitution. Otherwise, people say, I have my own rules. Constitution లేదనుకో మనం ఏం చెప్తాం, నా రూల్స్ నేను ఫాలో అవుతా అంటాం. ఐమ్ రైట్? అలా ఎవరి రూల్స్ వాళ్ళు ఫాలో అయితే ఏమవుతుంది? కొట్టుకొని చచ్చిపోతాం చివరికి. అక్కడ నేషన్ కాదు కదా, బూడిది కూడా మిగలదు. ఐమ్ రైట్ ఆర్ నాట్? పీపుల్ సేస్, I have my own rules. My dear, we are all having the rules that are given by the Constitution of India. When all of us following the common rules, our agenda is common. We all follow the proper behavior, proper developmental activities. Hence, there is no disturbance. There will be fraternity. There will be what? Fraternity. Fraternity means being brotherhood. Hence, country will be smoothly going for its growth and development. If there is no constitution, people follow their own set of rules and regulations. It's something like ancient times. In ancient times, we have many groups of population. Every group having different rules and regulations. In one territory, they'll fight with each other. End of the day, no development, nothing. But we are living in a modern state. In a modern state, every country has rules and regulations that are followed by every citizen. Hence, there is no internal disturbance. We can ensure proper growth and development. We can treat every section of individual equally. For example, women have their own rights, men have their own rights. Both are given equal rights in the constitution or not? Like SC, ST, earlier we treat them subordinates. Earlier we treat them backwarded. But in the constitution right now, they enjoy the status or not? Yes, that is why every country requires the constitution for better development of nation. But some of the countries are having written constitution and some of them are having like unwritten constitution. For example, USA is having written constitution. India is having written constitution. Maximum countries in the world are having written constitution. But there are some countries in the world having unwritten constitution. Example, British. So, the countries can have written constitution, countries can have unwritten constitution. Written constitution, things are clearly mentioned. Unwritten constitution, things are not mentioned. They make the things based on the time and situation. Hence, the countries which are having constitution, there we can see constitutional supremacy. Write down. The countries which have the constitution, there we can see the countries which are having written constitution can have constitutional supremacy. What do you mean by constitutional supremacy? The constitution is the supreme, ultimate head. Now, the countries which are having constitution can have constitutional supremacy, which means constitution is ultimate head. But the countries which don't have a constitution, or the countries with unwritten constitution, we can see 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 parliamentary supremacy. So parliament is a legislative body. I'll discuss, separate chapter is there. Britain, there is no written constitution. Hence, who is supreme in Britain? Parliament, because parliament making laws time to time based on their requirement, because they don't have written constitution. So simple language, the countries which are having constitution is having constitutional supremacy. The countries which don't have written constitution is having parliamentary supremacy. Example for parliamentary supremacy, British. Example for constitutional diplomacy, USA, India, and the countries which have what? Written constitution. Written constitution. Ardhamainda. This is what about. But like other countries, India is also having constitution, right? Like other countries, India is also having what? Constitution. But how the constitution of India got evolved? How the constitution of India got evolved? Can you tell me the evolution of Indian constitution? I'll tell you boys, when you see the constitution, remember 2 points you should understand. In India, see, I'll talk about India. Before 1947, this is called as post 1947. This is called pre 1947 and post 1947. Pre 1947 and post 1947. Post means after. అంటాం గుర్తుందా ఆఫ్టర్ అని, దాని జనరల్గా ఏమంటాం పోస్ట్. ఓకే నా పోస్ట్ లంచ్ అంటాం గుర్తుందా, మీరు ఏమంటారు ఆఫ్టర్ లంచ్ అంటారు, బట్ వాట్ ఇస్ ద జనరల్ వర్డ్ పోస్ట్ లంచ్. సో ప్రీ 1947 means pre 1947 we call it as British India. Pre 1947 we call it as British India, but post 1947 we call it as Independent India. Independent India or sovereign India. Independent India or sovereign India. Before 1947 we call it as British India. After 1947 we call it as what boys? Independent India or sovereign. Sovereign meaning independent. India is a sovereign country, which means what? Independent country. Clear everyone? Yes. But see, during British time, that is British India, before 1947, India administered based on British rules and regulations. British rules and regulations. But after getting independence, we have created our own constitution to administer India. To administer India. And the meaning, Indian constitution got evolved from British India to what? Post-independent India. Because I'll tell you, during British time, we did freedom movement. In the freedom movement, what is our ultimate goal? To get independence. To get independence and make our own constitution. In the process of fighting for freedom, we demanded for making our own constitution. Making our own? Why? Because when we were demanding for independence, many of the times British questioned us. You Indians, first you prepare your own constitution, then you demand for independence. Without getting constitution, how do you administer India after getting independence? So, first you make sure ready your constitution, then demand for independence. That is what the statement given by Britishers. Hence, the Indian national leaders wanted to make our own constitution, then we can demand independence, then we can administer India based on our own rules and regulations, not colonial rules and regulations. Colonial rules means British. British rule in India is also called colonial rule. British rule in India is also called colonial rule. British rule in India is also called colonial rule. British rule in India is also called colonial rule. Okay, Nama? Yes. And I'll tell you simply, the Indian constitution was evolved between 1928 nundi 1950. This is the period where Indian constitution got evolved. The Indian constitution got evolved between 1928 to 1950. So this is the period where Indian constitution got evolved. And the meaning, we haven't prepared the constitution overnight. It took us a lot of time. It took us what? Lot of time to make our own constitution. It took us a lot of time to make our own constitution. Look at now the first point, boys. The first point here is, yes, the idea of having constitution is first given by is first given by Motilal Nehru. The idea of having constitution is first given by Motilal Nehru. Is first given by Motilal Nehru. Sir, who is this Motilal Nehru? Motilal Nehru is the father of Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru is the father of Indira Gandhi. What is that? Indira Gandhi. So Motilal Nehru is the first person in the year of 1928. He made something called as Nehru Report. He made something called Nehru Report. These are all basics, just like a fact-based one. Don't worry. 1928, Motilal Nehru made Nehru Report by accepting the challenges of British official Lord Birkenhood. There is a British official called Lord Birkenhood. Lord Birkenhood challenged Indians. See, Indians are demanding what? Independence. For that we have did many movements. What are the many movements that we have did? Like Home Rule League movement, like non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and many more we did. In this process, a British officer called Lord Birkenhood gave a challenge. Indians, before demanding independence, you better first make your own constitution, then demand for independence. Demand for independence. This challenge was given by Lord Birkenhood, and this challenge accepted by whom? Motilal Nehru. And with the 7 to 8 members, he made a report which is called Nehru Report. Nehru Report is the first effort. Nehru Report is the first effort we made towards the Indian Constitution. Nehru Report is the first effort we made towards the Indian Constitution. We made towards Indian Constitution. Nehru Report is the first efforts Indian made towards Indian Constitution. Okay, na intavaraku? Yes. But this Nehru Report not accepted. This Nehru Report not accepted. This is not accepted by even Indian National Congress, not accepted by Muslim League. Nehru Report was made in which year? 1928. Who made the Nehru Report? Motilal Nehru, by accepting the challenge given by British officer called Lord Birkenhood. Lord Birkenhood. Lord Birkenhood. మీకు అర్థం అవడానికి అబ్బాయిలు మనకి ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద డే కాన్సెప్ట్ గుర్తుండాలి, రైట్? లార్డ్ Birkenhood. So, see, this Nehru Report, which is made by Motilal Nehru along with few members, is not accepted by Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Are you getting it right? Yes. When I say Indian National Congress, listen carefully. I need to talk a few things about Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was created in the year of 1885. Indian National Congress created in the year of 1885. Muslim League created in the year of 1906. Muslim League created in the year of 1906. Both were created with the help of Britishers. Both were created with the help of Britishers. What Indian National Congress will do? It will conduct sessions every year. It will conduct sessions every year. Mostly every year, December 28, 29, 30. From 1885 onwards, every year, Indian National Congress will conduct sessions December 28, 29, 30. They'll make some targets in this session. For rest of the year, they'll work for those targets. They'll work for those targets. Something like us. We all keep the targets on December. From January 1st, I'll implement all these targets. All the targets were violated January 1st itself. Am I right? January 1st, we are too busy. Mama's second day, I'll not see me for the last time. My phone is off. Yeah, I'm going to underground. I'll not visible to anybody. Overaction చేస్తాం. మళ్ళీ 2nd of January ఏం జరగనట్టు నిద్రలేస్తాం. మామ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ వేర్ ఆర్ యూ అంటాం. నేను ఏదో అన్నావు కదరా అంటే ఏ ఊరుకోరా ఏదో మాట్లాడతాను హ్యాంగ్ ఓవర్లో అని పడుచుకుంటారేంటి. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈస్. Got it everyone? Something like that. In every year, December 28, 29, 30, Indian National Congress will meet at different places. They'll keep some of the targets. Next year, from January onwards, our targets are this. We should fight with the British based on these targets. They'll keep the targets. They celebrate 31st December. They'll disperse by fast. Every year, they'll fight for the targets which they have decided in the Congress session. Am I right? They'll do this every year. Indian National Congress opposed what? Nehru garu. Nehru is a part of Indian National Congress. He is a member of Indian National Congress. Even then his own party rejected Nehru report. Again Muslim League. It is created 1906 after Bengal division. After modern India lost. What is Bengal division and all? Don't worry. Okay na? So 1906 general ఏం జరిగిందంటే అమ్మా 1905 there was Bengal division. There's a very good story for Bengal division. We'll discuss in modern India. Okay, 1905 there was Bengal division. In the Bengal division we can see a strong Hindu-Muslim unity. In Bengal division we can see a strong Hindu-Muslim unity. What British wanted? British always want a divide and rule policy. What is that? Divide and rule policy. Because if Indians are united, they can't rule India for a longer time. Because Britishers are hardly, let us say, 20,000 population, 20,000 army, 20,000 policemen or administrators. We are crores. But the 20,000 controlling this crores and population by breaking our unity, their fundamental principle is like, we should rule India by dividing them based on religion, region, caste, in every possible way. But 1905, when Bengal was divided into two parts, East Bengal, West Bengal. Today our Bengal is East Bengal. Today Bangladesh is West Bengal by the time. Ardhamainda? Yes. So at the time of Bengal division, people of India opposed Bengal division because we understood Bengal division is a part of divide and rule. Indians understood their strategy and we started Bengal division should be cancelled. Bengal need to be reunion. But British understood, our issue is getting serious. We should divide Hindus and Muslims. And especially Indian National Congress is one of the strongest party by the time of 1905. We should divide this first. They encouraged Aga Khan. Britishers encouraged one of the Muslim leader called Aga Khan. And they created Muslim League in the year of 1906. And Muslim League most of the times it fought against Indian National Congress. Which means Indians were fighting with themselves. Indians are busy in fighting themselves, hence British is safe. Like our politicians, like our religious heads, they'll ask you to fight among yourself, they'll save, they'll come later and they say, don't kotkokandi, enti kalisi pandu, they unnanu kada pedda manishini, ee kind of showcasing they do. Are you getting it right? Yes. So Muslim League not accepted Nehru report, Indian National Congress not accepted Nehru report. It means I would like to say Nehru report is the failure one. It is the failure, and the first effort that we made towards the making of Indian Constitution is failure. Like your UPSC first attempt failure and do. Under the first attempt చూద్దామని ఇచ్చాను మామ, సెకండ్ అటెంప్ట్ చూడటానికి ఇచ్చేది సార్ నాకు అర్థం కాదు. Immature statement. Are you getting it right? So our first attempt to make Indian Constitution was Nehru report. That was failed. After failing, what do? We will look for the reasons why the Nehru report was not accepted. What are the reasons for its failure? Then we started scrutinizing and we found some of the mistakes. Nehru report was made by few members. What is that? Few members, hardly seven members. India, such a large country, having huge religious diversity, regional diversity, cultural diversity. 7 members can't make a all acceptable constitution. 7 members cannot make all acceptable constitution. అన్ని మతాలకి అన్ని జాతులకు సంబంధించిన కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ని ఈ 7 members రాయగలరా? No, they can't make a right constitution for entire country. Then we have decided to make a proper constitution to India. To make a proper constitution to India, we need a group of members. We need a group of members, not 7. We need more than that. We need people from all the religion. We need people from all the regions. We need people from, women should be there in that. Are you getting it right? So that we can make a constitution which will be accepted by all the population of country. So to make Indian constitution, we need a group of members. That is how, for the first time in the year of 1934. So first change in 1928 is the next thing is what 1934. 1934, there was a communist known as Andriod. 1934, there was a communist known as Andriod. 1934, there was a communist known as Andriod. Andriod gave the idea of having, write down, gave the idea of having constituent assembly, giving the idea of having constituent assembly. దీని తెలుగులో ఏమంటారో చెప్తా. రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభ అంటే రాజ్యాంగాన్ని నిర్మించాలంటే మనకు ఒక సభ కావాలి. దాని ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఏమంటారు? Yes. To constitute Indian constitution, we need a group of members. Hence we call it as what? Constituent. Amma, just repeat with me, new people, so that you will understand. So, who gave the idea of having constituent assembly? Andriod. What is constituent assembly? It is just an assembly having a group of members to make constitution. To make constitution. తెలుగులో ఏమంటాం దీన్ని? రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభ. సింపుల్ గా చెప్పాలంటే రాజ్యాంగాన్ని నిర్మించడానికి మనకు ఒక గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ కావాలి. ఆ సభ రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభ. ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ we call it as constituent assembly. Gave the idea of constituent assembly. Andriod gave the idea of having constituent assembly because Andriod is a communist. He was not there in India most of the times. Most of the times he was there in Russia, he was there in Japan, he was there in Tashkent, he was there in many other central Indian parts, but not in India. By looking at Nehru report, he said, my dear Indian brothers, don't encourage Nehru report kind of things. If you wanted to make a constitution to India really, which should be accepted by all of them, we need a constituent assembly. Not like 5 to 6 members cannot make constitution for India. We need a group of people. And then he said, India should have a constituent assembly to make our own constitution. So Chapandi, who gave the idea of constituent assembly? Andriod gave the idea of constituent assembly in the year of 1934. That idea was accepted by Indian National Congress in 1935. So Andriod gave the idea in the year of 1934. That idea was accepted by Indian National Congress in the year of 1935. 1935. Ardhamainda? Yes. And when Indian National Congress accepted this idea, they demand permission from British to create this. See, we can't create anything without British permission, right? During British India time, before 1947, we can't create anything without British permission. If you create anything without British permission, they simply called what? They simply called what? Unconstitutional, illegal body. What is that? Illegal body. So, see, నా పర్మిషన్ లేకుండా గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా పర్మిషన్ లేకుండా మీరు ఇండియాలో ఏదైనా కంపెనీ పెడితే దాన్ని ఏమంటారు? ఇల్లీగల్ అని అంటారు కదా. Without Britishers' permission, if you create any body, they can declare them as illegal. What is that? Illegal. Illegal means you can't supposed to meet. If you meet, they'll arrest you. They will arrest you. So to create Constituent Assembly, we required permission from British. From 1935 onwards, Indian National Congress demanding permission from British to create a Constituent Assembly. From 1935 onwards, Indian National Congress demanded permission from British to have Constituent Assembly, to establish Constituent Assembly, But Britishers know this point very well. If they create Constituent Assembly, they'll create the Constitution. If they create a Constitution, they demand for independence, which British don't want to give us. British don't want to give us independence. But if we wanted to get independence, we need a Constitution. To create Constitution, what is required? Constituent Assembly. Britishers were very much clear that if we give permission to Indians to create a Constituent Assembly, they'll create the Constitution. After creating Constitution, what is the next move? They demand independence. British don't want to give independence to India. Hence, they haven't approved, they haven't permitted to create a Constituent Assembly. We are requesting to get permission to create Constituent Assembly, but British has denied permission to have Constituent Assembly. Because if they gave, it is bad for them. It is bad for them. And the meaning, what is this here? Indians are demanding, Britishers are denying. Britishers are denying. This is a continuous process from 1935, 36, 37, 38. అంటే 4 సంవత్సరాలు మనం అడుక్కుంటున్నాం, వాళ్ళు డినై చేస్తున్నారు అంతే. Getting it right? Yes. Then situation came, time came, that is World War II. What is that? World War II. Very, very important. We are demanding, 1935 we requested them, 36 we requested them, 37, 38 we requested them. Britishers, please give us permission to have a Constituent Assembly, but they are not given us. We are waiting to get permission. Situation come in the form of World War II. There are two World Wars, World War I, World War II. I'll just tell the years. World War I, 1914 to 1918 is World War I. Next World War II, there we will see 1939 to 1944. Some books written 45, 44, because stop and agipoledu. Japan continued its war till 1945. Hence, some books written 44, some are says 1945. But I would say 1939 to 1944 is the period of World War II. Remember, during the World War II time, I'll tell you this. In the World War II, Japan, Germany, they are like one group. Japan, Germany, they are like one group. But another group like USA, Russia means at the time we call it as USSR, followed by British. They are like one group. We call them as alliance. What is that? Alliance. This is one group, this is another group where they fight with World War II. See, British is very small country having little army. But Britishers are having colonies. Colonies means Africa is a British colony, India is a British colony, Singapore was a British colony. Are you getting it right? Yes, we call them as British colonies. See what British did, it announced that India will participate in World War II. Without consulting Indians, it announced that India will participate in World War II. How it is possible? And without asking Indian National Congress, how do they declare that India will participate in World War II. Indians said, especially Congress said, British, sorry, we will not participate in World War II. Will not participate in World War II. But Britishers said, Arey yaar, Indians, I already declared that India will also participate in World War II. But Indians said, no. మమ్మల్ని అడిగి చేసినావా, మమ్మల్ని అడిగి డిక్లేర్ చేసావా, will not participate in World War II. One side, America and Russia pressurizing Britishers. British, you said India will come into picture. Where is India? And British said, just wait, I'll request them. I'll ask them to participate. Something is going on between us. I'll finalize. You don't worry. Again, British came to India. Please, Congress, accept, participate in World War II. Then Indians said, okay, we will participate in World War II. What is for us? What is for us? Then British said, what do you want? As usual, we want permission to create Constituent Assembly. British said, sorry, we will not give you permission to create Constituent Assembly. Indians said, we will not participate in World War II. Are you getting it right? So Indians are correctly used the situation of World War II. In this particular process, British made many efforts to convince Indians to participate in World War II, to participate in World War II. The first effort they made in the year of 1940. 1940, British offered something called as August Offer. 1940లో British gave August Offer to Indians. British gave August Offer. Which year, amma? వీటన్నిటి గురించి what is August Offer, what are the points in that will be discussed in your modern India classes. అర్థమైందా? Yes, it is connected to your modern India first chapter. Okay, British gave us what? August Offer. But this August Offer rejected by Indian National Congress, rejected by Muslim League, because whatever the offer that they have given, not satisfactory. Are you getting it right? Offer given by British in which year? 1940. This August Offer ఏముంది ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పను. That we'll discuss in modern India, or that we will discuss in a chapter called historical background. So this August Offer given by British in which year? 1940. In this they said dominion status. They said what? Dominion. అదేంటో నీకు తెలియదు, కొంచెం పక్కన పెట్టండి, ఓకేనా? Yes. So August Offer rejected by Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Why they rejected August Offer? And similar strategy British executed during World War I. During World War I, we have demanded dominion status. Dominion status అంటే ఏం లేదు రబ్బాయిలు, not complete independence, partial independence. What is that? Dominion independence or dominion status. Meaning ఏంటంటే India is administered by Indians under the control of British, which means, is it complete independence? Please, is it complete independence? No. During this World War I time, we have demanded dominion status. DOMINION, dominion status, which means not complete independence. They said, we will give you participate in World War I. Indians, మీకు డొమినియన్ స్టేటస్ కావాలా? వరల్డ్ వార్ 1లో పార్టిసిపేట్ అవ్వండి, మమ్మల్ని గెలిపించండి. వరల్డ్ వార్ 1 గెలిచిన ఎమ్మటే మీకు ఏమి ఇచ్చేస్తా? డొమినియన్ స్టేటస్ ఇస్తా అని చెప్పి మనకు ప్రామిస్ 1917లో ఇచ్చారు. ఎప్పుడు ఇచ్చారమ్మా? 1917. దానికి ఒక పేరు పెట్టారు వీళ్ళు, ఆగస్ట్ డిక్లరేషన్. ఏంటి? వరల్డ్ వార్ 1 అయిన తర్వాత ఆగస్ట్ డిక్లరేషన్ లేదు, పాడు లేదు. దే haven't give us dominion status. And they violated their own promise or not? Bad experience during World War I. August Declaration is a bad experience. Again, British use same concept in World War II. ఇక్కడ August Declaration ఇక్కడ ఏమన్నారు? August Offer. They said, this time we will give you dominion status. We failed to give dominion status in 1917. We'll give you dominion status in 1940. You participate in World War II. After this, we will give you what? Chappana, we will give you what? Then Indians said, you Britishers, dominion status is a concept of 1920, 1917. Now we wanted complete independence. Now India don't want dominion status. We wanted complete independence. Dominion status is an old concept. What is that? Old concept. అర్థమైందా? Yes. మీరు ఎవరైనా గ్రూప్ 2 ఫెయిల్ అయిన తర్వాత బాగా ఇన్సల్ట్ చేస్తే చిచి గ్రూప్ 2 కాదు. ఐ గో ఫర్ వాట్? యూపీఎస్సి. ఐ గో ఫర్ యూపీఎస్సి. నువ్వు యూపీఎస్సికి వచ్చాక ఎవరైనా గ్రూప్ 2 రామని నువ్వేమంటావు? ఆ రోజులు పోయినాయి. ఇప్పుడు నేను యూపీఎస్సి చదువుతున్నా కలెక్టరే కొడతా అంటావా లేదా? They said 1917 they said August declaration, but they violated this. In World War II 1940 what they gave? August offer. Indians don't believe the Britishers. Anyway, we don't want now dominion status. We wanted complete independence. But August offer talking about dominion status, but not complete independence. Hence, August offer was rejected by Indian National Congress and Muslim League. మరి ఏమన్నామంటే ఈ ఆగస్ట్ ఆఫర్ మాకొద్దు, మేము వరల్డ్ వార్ 2కి రాము, మాకేం కావాలి? ఇండిపెండెన్స్ కావాలి, కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ పర్మిషన్ కావాలి. సో బ్రిటిష్ ఫైల్డ్ టు గెట్ ఇండియన్స్ సపోర్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఆగస్ట్ ఆఫర్. Then followed by 1942 they came to India with another proposal. 1940 అయిపోయింది. 42 they came to India with another proposal to attract the Indians to participate in World War II. What is the another proposal? Here we call it as proposal. Just years నేను చెప్పింది రాసుకుని ప్రస్తుతానికి చాలు. I'll connect the dots, don't worry. If I talk it now, it goes more about August Declaration. Okay na? I'll discuss in your entire polity lecture. I'll discuss that the time we come. So remember this, 1942 British came with another offer. What is it? Another offer? Cripps proposal or Cripps mission under the name. In the Cripps proposal they offered something. Again, we don't believe. Indian National Congress, Muslim League both rejected Cripps mission. And Cripps proposal. Read out 1942 Cripps proposal. INC and Muslim League. After this Cripps proposal, can I say failure of August offer, failure of Cripps mission or Cripps proposal? After this, Gandhi immediately started Quit India movement. Same 1942 లోనే Cripps mission fail అయిన తర్వాత గాంధీజీ immediately started 1942 లో గాంధీజీ immediately started Quit India movement. Quit India movement. ఏంటమ్మది? Quit India movement. Is it clear? Cripps proposal fail అవ్వంగానే గాంధీజీ started which movement? Quit India movement. There Gandhi gave a slogan called Do or Die. ఇవన్నీ మీకు మళ్ళీ క్లాసెస్ వస్తాయి. These are introductory classes. Okay na? Yes. After this 1944 we got after this 1944 World War II ended. 1944 World War II was ended. When World War II was ended, is there any need of Indians to British? World War II ended తర్వాత బ్రిటిషర్స్ కి ఇండియన్స్ హెల్ప్ అవసరమా కాదా? జనరల్ గా కాదు. am I right? మరి మనకి ఎలా వచ్చింది కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ? మరి మనకి ఎలా వచ్చింది ఇండిపెండెన్స్ అంటే there is our little friend called Japan. What is that? Japan. World War II 1944 లో కంప్లీట్ అయినా సరే the British have a threat from Japanese. World War II లో Japan captured Singapore. Japan captured for Andaman Islands. Japan captured Bangladesh. Japan is about to enter into India. Indians are not enemies to Japanese, but Britishers are enemies to Japanese. World War II లో బ్రిటిష్ సోల్జర్ ని జపాన్ వాళ్ళకి దొరికితే వాళ్ళు సమురాయ్ స్వాడ్ తీసుకొని వాళ్ళ హెడ్స్ అలా బ్రేక్ చేస్తుండే. అంటే జపనీస్ హేట్ ద బ్రిటిషర్స్ టు ద మాక్సిమం లెవెల్ అండ్ బ్రిటిషర్స్ వర్ వెరీ మచ్ అఫ్రైడ్ ఆఫ్ జపనీస్. World War II ended 1944, but Japan threat remained there for British. British became alone. Why, sir? Russia not helping the British, USA not helping British. Why? Already Japan, USA has the fight during World War II. You know, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that atom bomb attack, they have rivalry. Russia don't want to engage in the matters because due to World War II, Russia also affected huge. So Russia is quiet, America is quiet, British now alone. Japan is about to enter India, about to enter into India. This time, British definitely need Indian support, definitely need Indian support. Then Britishers came to India, we will beg you, please support us to fight with Japanese. After this, whatever you wanted, we will give you. Indians said, Constituent Assembly, yes, we will give you. Independence, we will give you. Please protect us from Japanese. Protect us from Japanese. Are you getting it right? For this, in the year of 1946, British sent something to India called Cabinet Mission Plan. 1946, British sent to India Cabinet Mission Plan. Cabinet Mission Plan was sent to India in the year of 1946. Cabinet Mission Plan sent to India in the year of Cabinet Mission Plan sent to India in the year of 1946. ఏం లేదమ్మా క్యాబినెట్ మిషన్ ప్లాన్ అంటే వెరీ సింపుల్. బ్రిటిష్ క్యాబినెట్ నుండి 3 మెంబర్స్ క్యాబినెట్ మినిస్టర్స్ అంటాం, గుర్తుందా? మీకు క్యాబినెట్ మినిస్టర్ టాపిక్ వస్తుంది, నేను మాట్లాడతాను. మనకి ఈరోజు ఎలా అయితే మంత్రులు ఉంటారో, బ్రిటిష్ క్యాబినెట్ లో 3 మంత్రులు ఇండియాకి పంపిస్తుంది. So 3 ministers came to India from British cabinet with a plan to create constituent assembly and to get independence. So which year we got this cabinet mission plan? 1946. Cabinet mission plan reached to India. Cabinet mission plan is having 3 members. Cabinet mission plan is having 3 members. Who are the 3 members in this cabinet mission plan? Write down Lawrence, not dance master Lawrence, okay? Gurtuntudu, okay? Lawrence, Stafford Cripps. ఇందాక క్రిప్స్ మిషన్ చెప్పానా, ఆయన స్టెఫర్డ్ క్రిప్స్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఏవి అలెగ్జాండర్, నాట్ దట్ అలెగ్జాండర్, ఓకే? ఈజ్ a British minister, Alexander. These are the 3 British cabinet ministers who came to India with a proposal. Hence we call it as Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. 1946. In this 1946, remember, write down this, under Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, we got permission to establish Constituent Assembly. Important question for your exam. Under Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, under Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, we got permission to establish what? Constituent Assembly. Spellings అవన్నీ కూడా మీరు టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ చదివిపిస్తాను మీ చేత, అవన్నీ మీకు క్లియర్ అవుతాయి, ఓకేనా? డోంట్ వరీ. బాగా చదివేవాడిని వాటి తగ్గట్టే చదివిపిస్తా, కొంచెం లో ఉన్నవాడిని వాడిని తగ్గట్టే చదివిపిస్తా, మీరేం వరీ కాకండి. జస్ట్ థింక్ ఇస్ దట్, మీకు ఏది అర్థం కాకపోయినా వచ్చి నా క్యాబిన్లో నేను కలవండి, అంతే. అర్థమైందా? బుక్ చదువుతున్న అర్థం కాలేదా, డైరెక్ట్గా నా క్యాబిన్కి వచ్చి అడగండి, ఐ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, ఓకేనమ్మా? మీరు అడగాలి కాకపోతే, ఓకే? ఎస్. సో రిమెంబర్, సో కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అసెంబ్లీ క్రియేటెడ్ ఇన్ విచ్ ఇయర్? 1946. Under which plan? Cabinet Mission Plan. Members in Cabinet Mission Plan? 3 members. Lawrence, Cripps and A.V. Alexander. A.V. Alexander. Amma ardhamainda? This point is important for UPSC prelims. This is important for UPSC prelims. So now the cabinet or the Constituent Assembly created in the year of 1946. Total it consisting of 389 members. Constituent Assembly was created in the year of 1946. Total 389 members. which is the lengthiest constituent assembly in the world. Lengthiest constituent assembly in the world. Okay now? Because we have diversity, various religions, various regions, we should cover everyone, right? At the time of 1946, Bangladesh is a part of India, Pakistan is a part of India, am I right or not? Yes. So how many members in Constituent Assembly? 389 members. In these 389 members, some of them are elected, some of them are nominated. రాసుకున్నాము జాగ్రత్తగా 389 మెంబర్స్ మీ బుక్ లో ఎంతమంది ఎలక్టెడ్ ఎంతమంది నామినేటెడ్ రాస్తుంటారో నెంబర్స్ మన ఎగ్జామ్ కి అవసరం లేదండి. ఇన్ ద కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ టోటల్ 389 మెంబర్స్, some of them are elected. Elected means again indirect elections. Okay, there is no direct elections to constituent assembly, elections are indirect. Some of them are indirectly elected, some of them are nominated. Hence, can you use the statement, the members of constituent assembly were partly elected, partly nominated. Can you use the statement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right on. The members of constituent assembly was partly elected and partly nominated. Partly elected and partly nominated. Very, very important statement for your examination. Remember, partly elected and partly nominated, total members is like how many members? 389 members. But I have a question to you. So the Constituent Assembly have the members from several religions. What is that? Several religions. What are the religions? Write down. The Constituent Assembly have the members from, ఇది కూడా UPSC prelims question. The Constituent Assembly have the members from Hinduism, have the members from Hinduism, Muslims, there are Hindus, Muslims, Sikh, Parsis, P-A-R-I-S, Parsis, how many means Kadil Vere, Zoroastrians, all Vere sir, Parsis, followed by Anglo-Indians, Parsis, some they'll worship fire. మన సికింద్రాబాద్ లో ఉంటారు గోల్డ్ జ్యువెలరీ షాప్ అంతా వాళ్ళే. దే వర్షిప్ ఫైర్ యాజ్ ద గాడ్. ఓకేనా? లైక్ రతన్ టాటా. రతన్ టాటా is what? A Parsi. Are you getting it right? That is all. Parsis, Anglo-Indians and the Britishers who settled in India, or Portuguese, French who settled in India called Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians, Indian Christians, women were there in this Constituent Assembly. Women kuda unnaru. Women, SC and ST. These are all the group of population that were present in Constituent Assembly. Because every person should accept the constitution means we need some of the people from that religion or that caste so that they'll discuss about the constitution, their own points, right? Yes. But Gandhiji is not a member of Constituent Assembly. Gandhiji, because we know at the national movement we'll talk more about Gandhiji, right? But Gandhiji was not a member of Constituent Assembly. Gandhiji was not a member of Constituent Assembly. Gandhiji was not a member of Constituent Assembly. Ardhamainda? Tell me now, boys. How many members in Constituent Assembly? 389 members. How they elected? Partly elected, partly nominated. So, but when I say Constituent Assembly, it represents all the religions of India, like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Parsi, Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians, followed by women, SC and ST. Okay, now this is what composition of Constituent Assembly. But when I say Gandhiji was not a member of Constituent Assembly, clear everyone? Yes. But I'll tell you one point. When it created Constituent Assembly? 1946. Constituent Assembly was boycotted by Muslim League. Constituent Assembly was boycotted by Muslim League. Constituent Assembly was boycotted by Muslim League. I'll tell you why. When did Muslim League was created? 1906. Who founded this? ఆయన కాదు, ఆగా ఖాన్. ఎవరైనా? ఆగా ఖాన్. 1906 ఆగా ఖాన్ క్రియేటెడ్ ముస్లిం లీగ్ at Shimla. ఆ స్టోరీ మనకు అవసరం మళ్ళీ చెప్తాం. So Muslim League boycotted what? Constituent Assembly. Why they boycotted? Very simple, I will tell you this. There is a single agenda of Muslim League because at later stage of Muslim League, initially Muslim League was founded by Aga Khan. At later stage of Muslim League, it was led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Like India ki father Gandhi ji ela antamo, Pakistan ki evaraina Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So later stages lo Muslim League was in the hands of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The Jinnah wanted Pakistan as a separate country. Jinnah wanted Pakistan as a separate country. But when British Cabinet Mission Plan gave permission to create Constituent Assembly, it is only for India. But Muslims wanted separate cabinet for Pakistan. British not talking about Pakistan. They're talking about India. They're talking about the what Constituent Assembly for India. They're not talking about Pakistan. We wanted Pakistan. That is why we are not going to participate in Constituent Assembly. బాగు పాకిస్తాన్ కావాలి, దాని గురించి మీరు మాట్లాడండి, అంతవరకు మేము కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీకి రాము, బాయ్కాట్ చేస్తాం అని చెప్తాడు ఆయన. వై ముస్లిం లీగ్ బాయ్కాటెడ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అమ్మా? రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభని ముస్లిం లీగ్ ఎందుకు బాయ్కాట్ చేసింది అంటే వాళ్ళకి పాకిస్తానే కావాలి. ఇక్కడ ఏమో బ్రిటిషర్స్ పాకిస్తాన్ గురించి మాట్లాడట్లా. నువ్వు పాకిస్తాన్ గురించి మాట్లాడట్లేదు, ఏమైంది నీకు? ఇవో పాకిస్తాన్ని ఇచ్చేంత వరకు నేను కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీకి రావు. అర్థమవుతుందా? So who boycotted Constituent Assembly? Muslim League. Why they boycotted? Because they wanted separate country called Pakistan. Separate country called Pakistan. Ardhamainda? Yes. But when I say Constituent Assembly, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly, the first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held on December 9th, 1946. Even exam అంత ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాదురా, కాకపోతే బేసిక్స్ చెప్పాలి కాబట్టి చెప్తున్నా. అర్థమవుతుందా? The first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held December 9, 1946. In this first meeting, Muslim League was boycotted. But in the first meeting, the Constituent Assembly headed by the first meeting of Constituent Assembly headed by Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, bracket lo temporary president of Constituent Assembly. ప్రతిసారి కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అని రాయకండి, సిఏ అని రాసుకోండి. ఎగ్జామ్లో మాత్రం సిఏ అని రాయకండి, ఓకేనా? ఎగ్జామ్లో మీరు రాస్తారు సిఏ, నాకు తెలుసు. అక్కడ మాత్రం కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అని రాయాలి, ఓకేనా? సో ద ఫస్ట్ మీటింగ్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ వాజ్ హెల్డ్ December 9, 1946. ఇది జరగాలి అంటే దీనికి ఒక హెడ్ ఉండాలి కదమ్మా? ఎస్, ద హెడ్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ వాజ్ డాక్టర్ సచిదానంద సిన్హా. బ్రాకెట్ లో టెంపరరీ హెడ్ అని రాసుకోండి. టెంపరరీ హెడ్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ ఆర్ టెంపరరీ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూంట్ అసెంబ్లీ. Temporary head of Constituent Assembly was Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. Was Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. But Sachidananda Sinha was there for 3 days. December 9 నుండి December 11 ante. After December 11, Constituent Assembly elected permanent head of Constituent Assembly. His name was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Right now, the president of Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The president of Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. ఇక్కడ ఎగ్జామ్లో గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, టెంపరరీ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అంటే డాక్టర్ సచిదానంద సిన్హా. ఇలా కాకుండా ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అంటే రాజేంద్ర ప్రసాద్. టెంపరరీ అని వర్డ్ వస్తేనే డాక్టర్ సచిదానంద సిన్హా, అదర్వైజ్ వీ కెన్ గో ఫర్ వాట్? Rajendra Prasad was the president of Constituent Assembly, followed by two vice presidents. President is one, under him we have two vice presidents. Under simple ga, Constituent Assembly has a president and followed by two vice presidents. President is Dr. Rajendra Prasad and two vice presidents. First vice president is Mr. Who is the first vice president? H.C. Mukherjee. Not like Pranab Mukherjee, no? The former president of India, Pranab Mukherjee. Like H.C. Mukherjee and followed by V.T. Krishnamachari. H.C. Mukherjee and followed by V.T. Krishnamachari. This is what called composition of Constituent Assembly. But remember, exactly, now we need to know what is the work of Constituent Assembly. Now we should know work of we discussed how Constituent Assembly created, how many members elected or nominated. Okay, na? Like who is the first president and another president, vice presidents we have discussed. But my point, what is the work of Constituent Assembly? There are two works of Constituent Assemblies. One is like administration of India, next one making of Constitution. Right now, there were two major works of Constituent Assembly. There were two major duties of Constituent Assemblies. One is like what? Administration of India and followed by making of Constitution. And meaning how to do administration, how to make Constitution. For that, on December 11, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru introduced objective resolution. Point రాసుకోండమ్మా. December 11, 1946 చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇది ఎగ్జామ్ కి. December 11, 1946 Jawaharlal Nehru introduced objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly. చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇది. ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ రిజల్యూషన్, దీని తెలుగులో మనం ఆశయాల తీర్మానం అంటాం. రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభ యొక్క ఆశయాలు ఏంటి? ఆశయాలు అంటే పనులే కదరా, అవేంటో తీర్మానించుకోవడం అంటే డిసైడ్ చేసుకుందాం. ఆర్ యూ గెటింగ్ ఇట్ రైట్? సి కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ దేనిపైన పని చేయాలి మనం డిసైడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. డిసైడ్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత పని స్టార్ట్ చేస్తుంది. సో దెర్ ఈస్ December 11, 1946 Jawaharlal Nehru introduced what? Objective resolution in Constituent Assembly. What is this objective resolution? And what type of work should be done by Constituent Assembly was clearly mentioned in this. Constituent Assembly ఎలాంటి పనులు చేయాలో మనం ముందు డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఈరోజు మాట్లాడుకున్నాం UPSC క్రాక్ చేయాలంటే ముందు ఏం చేయాలి? డిసిప్లిన్ గా ఉండాలి, కన్సిస్టెంట్ గా రావాలి, హార్డ్ వర్క్ ఏం చెప్పాం గుర్తుందా? అవన్నీ మనం డిసైడ్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత డిస్కషన్ లోకి వెళ్ళాం. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ కాల్డ్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ రిజల్యూషన్. సింపుల్ మీ ఎగ్జామ్ లో అడిగే క్వశ్చన్, రాజ్యాంగ నిర్మాణ సభ ఏమేం పనులు చేయాలో ముందే డిసైడ్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఆ డిసైడ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఏం ప్రవేశపెట్టాం? ఆశయాల తీర్మానం. ఇంగ్లీష్ లో ఏమంటాం? ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ రిజల్యూషన్. Who introduced this? Jawaharlal Nehru. Simple question. Objective resolution was introduced by Jawaharlal Nehru 1946. Based on this objective resolution, they will work. They means Constituent Assembly will work. And how it will work, and what it was done, and how the Constitution was made from 1946 to 1950 will be discussed in next session.